Welcome. You are listening to the Overseas Life Redesign podcast, where you'll hear fun, relaxed, and inspirational interviews with people who are really living the dream. I'm Dawn Fleming, an attorney turned alchemist, and your host for the show, coming to you from the tropical island paradise of Isla Mujeres, Mexico. Listen to conversations with courageous souls who've stepped out of their comfort zone and designed a new way of life. They'll share their experiences, wisdom, and offer practical steps you can take to redesign your life overseas. Listen and you'll believe. If you can dream it, you can achieve it. Go. Okay, we are actually having happy hour with Rose and Mike, and Tom is here today too. And we're really excited to hear your story about your overseas life redesign. And we just had an amazing tour of your brand new house that you moved into
A month ago.
Wow. We just kind of like to hear what's been going on with you guys, and you can kind of start a while back or start most recently and work our way back.
Thank you, Dawn. Well, we've been living here for about 2 years. We moved at the end of 2017. We were living in a beautiful 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo with beautiful views of the Bay of Cancun. And after about a year and a half, we had the opportunity to buy a lot and build a house. So it was a big challenge for us, exciting and nerve-wracking on my part to do this, because we've never built a house before, let alone on an island. But you know what? It worked out better than we thought. We had an amazing builder, amazing team, and we are now here and enjoying this beautiful home that we actually designed on our own, and feel very blessed and grateful to be here.
And 5 months, you said it only took 5 months?
It only took 5 months.
That's incredible.
Which is very unusual for any build.
On time and on budget, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And to backtrack how we got to Isla, is we came on vacation 3-4 years ago?
3.5 years.
3.5 years ago, and we travel quite a bit in the Caribbean and Cuba and Dominican and whatnot. We've been very fortunate to do that with our previous careers, and we said one day, let's go on vacation. And I was at work and I emailed Rose and I said, have you ever heard of this place? And she said, yeah. One time I came here maybe 13 years ago, and it was just a small island.
Just on a day trip.
On a day trip, and I said, okay, let's try it. So we came, we stayed at a little hotel not far from where we're at now, and stumbled across the condo that we fell in love with, and
sarcastically I said, I would love to live here one day.
Yeah.
Because the gate was actually open. We walked through the lobby, and I said sarcastically, we'd like to live here one day. And then 2 days later, there was an open house, and we went through 2 units that were available. We went back home. We discussed it. We were always looking for investment opportunities. So we put in an offer on a 1-bedroom, and funnily enough, we were outbid by another Canadian couple. We are Canadian.
Who we're friends with now.
Who now we became very good friends with, funny enough. We have no grudges. And so we just told the agent, you know what? It wasn't meant to be. Thank you very much. If another condo becomes available, let us know. And maybe not even a month later, he emailed us. He goes, you're not going to believe it. A penthouse has become available, and they are Canadian as well.
They're from Toronto like we were. They sent us pictures, and we were like, I don't know about the pictures, because it's hard to tell the pictures. Met with them, worked out a deal during brunch, and within a few months, we owned a property in Mexico, just like that.
That we never saw.
You never saw it?
We never saw it.
Yeah. But we knew the building, and we saw one unit. And
you're very brave.
Mm-hmm.
Very brave, and actually other people said other words to us.
Yeah. So originally our plan was to retire in Fort Myers, Florida, where we had a condo there, and we just fell in love with Isla and said, okay, let's sell Fort Myers and move our plans to Isla, and that's what we did. That summer we were supposed to come in August to see what we bought, but unfortunately Rose's mom became ill and passed away, so we delayed our trip till October. And when we first came, we were really impressed with what we ended up buying.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, and we said, okay, let's let's maybe think about spending more time on Isla and less on Toronto. So we downsized our property, our house in Toronto, to a condo.
Very, very small condo.
And then we sort of figured, let's find a way to not have to work anymore in Canada. And that's what we did. We decided we're going to purge, move to Isla, and live a simple life. And we came for 2 months, March and April, and we saw one more unit that was still available by the developer, and we saw how busy the rental market was there. So we said, I think we can buy this place, sustain a living by renting the other one, and be islanders. And that's what we did. So we did that for 2 years until we bought the lot, and then we sold the original penthouse we bought to build the house. So it just sort of fell in place the way I guess it was meant to be.
And then you still have the other condo?
We still have the other one. We managed that one. We rent it. Okay. And we also became managers for 3 other condos in the building that we became friends with the owners. And they've asked us, since we live here, can you manage it? I said, sure, why not?
Okay.
And that's our part-time gig. So we're semi-retired, as they say, at 49.
So what was your professional background in Canada?
I was a childcare teacher for over 20 years, and the last 5 years of my career, I became the director of the childcare center.
Wow.
So it was a very stressful, high-paced, challenging job. Loved every minute of it, but it was very difficult, dealing with 120 children, 80 families, and a staff of about 10 to 12 teachers.
Wow.
I was in IT sales for 15 years, so I was able to work from home, so I had a very flexible work environment. Went to the office once a week for sales meetings and then with customers, but it was I sort of ran my own shop, so I was very flexible, which was great. And then it sort of paved the way for what we want to do. It wasn't our full thing. We weren't in love with our jobs, like some people are, where it defines them. Mm-hmm. It just provided a great living, and we were fortunate enough to use that to live where we are now.
Did you continue working for that company while you were down here, or you didn't?
Did.
So you both walked away from your careers and were able to live on just the income from the properties.
And we don't have kids, so it
makes a big difference.
Made the move a little bit easier.
Sure.
And we had lots of family that wanted to come for a place for vacation, and they did that for the first couple of years for sure, as well as a lot of friends. So every month we had someone from Toronto coming to visit us, and we were always entertaining, which was nice.
So tell me about the shift from deciding to retire in Fort Myers versus Mexico. That's a big difference. We lived in Florida for 6 years, and it wasn't our cup of tea. That's why we decided to move on as well. But how did that evolve?
Well, we originally bought in Fort Myers when the market crashed.
Okay.
In 2007.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time we decided to buy a property, it was 2013.
11 or 12, and then we
when the
dollar was par.
The dollar was par with ours.
Oh, okay.
So it was,
Gotcha.
for us, wanting to invest, it was a no-brainer. So we bought a small condo in Fort Myers, and we thought we would use it as a vacation property, rent it out occasionally. When we were signing the deal, the agent said, well, no, this complex only allows full-time renters. So that threw us for a loop, but we decided, you know what, the price was right, let's rent it out full-time. So we rented it out full-time for 3 years.
So long-term rentals.
Long-term rentals, yes.
Okay.
1 year lease.
So we never even got a chance to enjoy it. And then we came here, like Mike said, about 3 years later, and we saw the opportunity to buy here where we can rent it out as a vacation property and still enjoy it. So that was our deciding factor why we decided.
So it had less to do with, let's say, the culture or the geographic location, and more to do from like a business standpoint for
Both,
renting, would you say?
Both, because we did not care to be in the city life, and it was still, lots of traffic and city here.
We were far away from the beach. Beach was a half an hour drive.
Okay, so you're not talking Fort Myers Beach.
No,
You're talking
no.
inland.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when we saw this, walking distance to the beach, super friendly, loving, kind people. You're immersed in culture, as you mentioned. It was a no-brainer for us.
Yeah.
The only downfall is that I liked Florida because we were able to drive. But from Toronto, it was only a 3.5-hour flight. And we didn't buy down here thinking we would retire so early. It so happened that we were able to do so it worked out for the best.
So you say semi-retired. So tell me about sort of your lifestyle as that's changed. It's obviously a big change to go from full-time, intense, corporate jobs, which you guys both have, to vacation mode, I guess is what you'd say. How has that been? Have you had like any moments like I don't know what to do with myself, or
Not at all.
what have you found yourself doing just from a day-to-day basis?
Oh my gosh. Well, I practice yoga, so I do yoga 3 mornings a week, and we walk almost every day. We have a cute little 10-pound dog, so we're out almost every morning walking him anywhere from half an hour to an hour and a half. So that starts our day.
Okay.
And as Mike mentioned, we manage 4 condos. So we are in charge of the check-in and check-out, and Mike does all the online bookings.
Oh, okay.
And we schedule the cleaning and anything they need. Like, we're always in contact with them. If they need a taxi, if they want a tour, suggestions for restaurants.
And the first year we were here, we were actually cleaning the condos ourselves. Just because we didn't find the perfect cleaner, and we were very particular about things, so we
needed something to do. I felt we needed something to do.
Okay.
We were just so used to the 9-to-5 job and doing things, and I said to Mike, let's just clean. It'll keep us busy, and I'm a perfectionist.
You can't hang out at the tavern all day.
No.
the bar, the joint across the street.
Yeah. And as Mike mentioned, we had friends and family visit us for the past 2 years, especially the first year. Every month someone was coming to visit. So once a month we had someone visit. So for a week we were booked. Dinners, breakfasts,
entertaining, lots of tours, yeah.
So that kept us really busy.
And we became friends with a lot of renters who become repeat renters. And so when they come down, they're like, okay, let's get together. So it's a lot of built friendships over the years of the renters. So which is great too. And as well as people on the island too. You become really good friends with a lot of people. It's a really small community, so you eventually get to meet the majority of people around. So whether it's at a restaurant or whatever, but and
Chedraui.
Yeah, Chedraui, the grocery store. Yeah.
Well, I met Mike on the ferry.
That's right.
That was the scariest ferry ride I've been
that
on.
was a rough one.
Because I was there.
Yeah. Coming back from the lawyer coon, and met Tom, and me and Tom were laughing when the lady beside us said, "I hope you can swim because I can't." So our days are fairly busy, but you know what? And they seem to go by very fast.
We'll be back in a moment.
Isla Mujeres is a Caribbean jewel off the coast of Cancun. Castilito del Caribe warmly invites you to enjoy our spectacular oceanfront villa located in the heart of El Centro and a short walk to Playa Norte, which is ranked one of the top 10 beaches in the world. With an ocean view of crystal clear turquoise waters overlooking both the Caribbean and Cancun city skyline, we offer a fabulous location for you to enjoy all the peace and tranquility you're looking for on vacation, while also taking in all the excitement the island has to offer, with activities either in walking distance or a golf cart day excursion away. Please visit CastilitoCaribe.com, www.CastilitoCaribe.com. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Integrity Vacation Property Management. Trust, truth, results. From buyer's representative services to rental market analysis, staging, marketing, and full service property management, achieving your goals is our top priority. Visit our website at www.integrityvpm.com and get our free guide, Self-Manage or Hire, a property owner's checklist of issues to consider. Contact us for a free consultation to see if we can help you maximize the return on your investments. Integrity VPM, raising the bar in vacation property management. Welcome back to the Overseas Life Redesign podcast. Thank you so much for being here, and we invite you to subscribe if you like what you hear.
So let me ask you, did you have any challenges along the way? Were there any... did everything just sort of fall into place?
Believe it or not, we had no challenges, and things went more smoothly than we ever thought possible. We were fortunate because when we bought the first condo, they were Torontonians, and he had a lawyer. The couple had a lawyer and a notary, and he said he would take care of everything for us.
He helped really guide the first process. So after that,
You know the drill.
you know the drill. You meet the people, and then it's a lot more easier. And that's the biggest thing. Even in any kind of real estate, you buy your first one. After that, you become familiar with the process, and it's easy. It seems easy, anyways.
It was very seamless for us, and meeting a lot of people on the island, vacationers, guests, our friends and family. They're like, "Weren't you afraid? Weren't you worried? You know, how did you handle things? You know, with the language barrier?" And we said we were fortunate because we had the original owner help us out tremendously,
Right.
and that actually encouraged a few other people that actually bought on the island. Guests of ours who came to our condo at least 3 times. They ended up buying a house on the island.
Yeah. And they bought a house, and now they bought a condo as well. And then they're totally investing, and they believe in the lifestyle here. And they were just on HGTV for a Mexico Life
Oh yeah.
program, and they did the program with the buying the house. So
Nice.
they're already in the community, right?
Wow,
So,
yeah.
Very cool. So you had invested in the Fort Myers property. Were you real estate investors aside from that in Canada or the United States?
We did have a number of condos that we used as rentals, and then we took advantage of the housing market in Toronto, where it basically doubled in 4 or 5 years.
Ah, okay.
And so from there, we weren't planning to sell the house. And actually, to backtrack, when we first bought the first condo, and after Rose's mom passed, a month after, on her birthday, 2 agents knocked on her door and said, "Would you consider selling your house?" Because the area's very sought
Was in
after.
demand.
Yeah. And we never answered the door. We just happened to answer the door, and we sat for 2 hours and talked to them. And we said, "Listen, we're going to Mexico to see what we bought. When we go there and we figure it out, we'll let you know." So while we were here, fell in love. Before we even came back, I emailed the guy and said, "Okay, let's list our house." And like that, it sold.
Done. So things really did fall into
It
place
moved,
for
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
It moved faster than we
Yeah.
thought. Basically, we didn't really have a plan.
We just opened our eyes to what's in front of us and said, "Does this make sense?" And that's how we lived our life there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, it's so funny doing these interviews because it seems like there's 2 ends of the spectrum. I mean, I've done a couple of interviews now where, I mean, people literally have had 5-year plans, right? And then there's been a few others that I've talked to that are just, "Oh no, there was no plan. We just decided one day we were going to do
Okay,
this."
so we're not the only crazy ones.
No.
No.
And it's just, it's fun because it both work.
Yeah.
You know, both can work.
Yeah.
You don't, but I guess it really depends on your comfort level in, you know, how much planning you are comfortable with to be able to make it work.
And this is not normal. What we did is not normal. We know that. Our family tells us. And now that they visit us, they say, "Okay, I get it." Our friends even thought, like, "What are you guys doing?" Because, you know, they're programmed to think you got to work 9 to 5 or whatever.
Well, I was going to ask you if you got any pushback from anybody.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So much.
And everyone that came to visit us with concerns. After they came, they go, we get it.
We get it.
Now we get it. And they've come more than once
Yeah.
now.
So the first year,
Yeah.
so actually, when I guess I'm going to be honest,
Please.
we did not tell our family we were moving down here. Or friends, a couple friends. We told everybody we were coming here just for 6 months. Because in Canada,
Okay. Sure.
well, in
That's
Canada,
frequent. Yes, absolutely.
or anywhere, you're only allowed to go to a country for 6 months. But in Canada, you're only allowed to go for 6 months and not lose our free healthcare plan.
Right? Yes.
So that was our plan. We're going to come here for 6 months. We told everybody that. They thought we were crazy already. So a couple weeks before we left, we found out that we could actually leave one time only for 2 years and not lose our free healthcare plan.
Okay.
So we went into the government office, we confirmed it, and they said, yep, you're allowed to go away for 2 years, only once, and not lose your healthcare plan. Well, that's what we said, let's do it. But we didn't tell anybody because they knew we were coming for 6 months and they were ready squawking.
Right.
How can you do this? How do you guys leave your well-paid jobs, your beautiful house? How can you downsize to a teeny tiny condo? We said, this is what we want to do. You know, we don't have kids and we feel we need to do this. So my oldest brother, I'm from a family of 5, me being the only girl, the baby. I got a lot of slack. So my oldest brother said, I'm coming down with you guys to see what the hell you did. So he came. He's a very free-spirited man, but he still was in shock that, you know, the baby of the family, the girl, is doing this. I'm supposed to be at home, tending to the family. I'm the matriarch now that my mother passed away. So he came down, and within like the first day, he goes, I get why you did this.
and
I give you my blessing.
a lot of F-bombs. He didn't say it without those.
Oh, that's funny.
And so 2 months later, Mike's mom came with his godmother and uncle because they wanted to see, like, why are you guys coming here for 6 months? So after, I think, a couple days, we dropped the bomb on them.
Told them the truth.
Yeah.
So his mom was used to Mike traveling a lot, so she was pretty cool with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But my other brothers, when I finally told them, they weren't too happy. But to each their own. We have to live our life,
That's right.
right?
We spend Christmases here. It's going to be our 3rd one here, so it's a little different for the family still. Because
Christmas is busy here,
yeah,
Very busy.
especially the vacation rental market,
But,
right?
Huge,
but
yeah.
being coming from a big Italian background and I'm Catholic, Mike's Christian, Christmas is huge. So it's still hard on them that we're here and they're there. And we always said, you know what, bring the Christmas here,
Come.
right? But it's too much for them to wrap their head around.
Yeah.
Yes,
So-
I'm here.
Yeah, it's very hard.
Yeah. So
What about your family, Mike? Did they kind of push back on you too?
no, not at all, because
No.
they know that I've lived in Spokane, Vancouver, Nashville. I've lived.
Moved around.
I probably traveled. I think we counted it one time.
17 times.
17 times I've moved in, and I'm 49. So
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
a couple of countries. a lot
I
of
was going to
cities,
ask
yeah.
if you had ever lived
Yeah.
overseas anywhere else.
Yeah. So my parents are used to that. So they didn't expect it. Every 2-3 years, my mom thinks, she goes, I guess it's time for you to move. So, and that's what happened after we got married. We lived in a condo. Then 2-3 years, we moved to a house. Then again, we moved back to a condo, and then now in an Isla condo, and then now a house. So it's right on the 2-year plan, 2-3 year plan. So she's used to that.
She's in you
Yeah.
got her trained in
Oh, yeah,
your
yeah.
career, so that's not a
House
problem.
is quite a hacienda.
Okay, on. and
Aside from the United States and Canada, and now Mexico, have you lived anywhere else? In
I
other
haven't lived
countries, or-
anywhere, but
okay.
we've traveled to Europe a number
Okay.
of times. So we do a lot of traveling, and like I said, we were very fortunate to be able to do that, and we love to travel. And now we're doing a different travel mode because we're not traveling to the Caribbean to the beach anymore. Now it's okay. Now we're going to cities. So
Right.
we went to Havana. We did go to Belize. St. Pedro. And
Merida, we're taking advantage
I
of.
love Mary.
Oh,
Yeah.
taking
we
advantage
enjoyed
of
that.
Mexico.
Valladolid,
Valladolid,
Ah, beautiful.
gorgeous.
Bacalar, and then in the summertime we're planning to do Spain and Portugal trip for our 10-year anniversary.
Good for you.
Good for you. You'll
Thank
enjoy
you.
that. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. So I guess kind of to wrap things up, how have you changed since you made this move, and in particular, maybe how has your relationship changed?
Well, we do spend a lot of time together, so
24/7.
Yeah, so
We
that's
haven't killed each other yet. No divorce papers.
that's unconceivable to a lot of people that we spend that much time together. They don't get it, but we're best friends. And
We're best friends.
Yeah.
And, we do squabble, and me more than him.
It's human nature.
He's very laid back. I'm a little bit tight. Italian.
Sicilian.
Um,
Yeah.
So we do have our moments. And when we do have our moments, we know to spend some time away from each other. But I feel I've changed. I've become a bit more relaxed. I hope he agrees.
Absolutely. The
Yeah.
yoga helps.
I do a lot more yoga and just being in this beautiful atmosphere.
She's got a good knit of ladies in the community that she socializes with, and they all have the same mentality. So it's sort of contagious. She's got to learn to relax, and she has been. So you don't come down here if you're high strung and want action. It's certain people are gravitating to this island. And one person said, Isla doesn't. You don't choose Isla. Isla chooses you, and that seems to be the case.
You get bit by the Isla, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
I believe we were pretty simple people back home, minimalists, but more so now that we're here. We appreciate everything we have even more so, seeing how the locals live, and we are giving more and more to them because we realize that less is more.
absolutely, and we've become very good friends, and it's more like family to the locals here. And I can't imagine. We miss them when we go away because they're our family now, and more than our real family. It's sad to say, but it's a fact, right? Yeah, it's just this is our life now. So
Wonderful. Well, is there anything I didn't ask you that you'd like to share as we wrap up, or
I don't think so.
any words of wisdom for anybody else thinking about making a move like this?
If you can do it, absolutely do it. Yeah, life's too short to.
Life's too short. I know it's a cliche, but it truly is.
Yeah.
And if you have a dream, just make it come true.
Absolutely, and the weather's great.
perfect.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your time. You're just a delightful
Thank you.
couple, and we're really blessed to be friends with you, and so glad we
Thank you, Dawn.
met
We feel
in
the
this
same way.
wonderful island. So thank you so much.
This episode of the Overseas Life Redesign podcast was brought to you by our sponsors. Thanks for tuning in. Did you love this episode of the Overseas Life Redesign podcast? Then please subscribe to our show and leave us a nice review. It's very much appreciated. We invite you to visit www.overseasliferedesign.com and take the Are You Ready for an Overseas Life Relocation Readiness Quiz. We'd also love for you to become part of our OLR community on Facebook. Thank you for listening.